So what did happen in 2024? 2024 was a year of controversy, beef, and pure and utter brain rot. We're going back over what actually happened this year. Or technically last year. Now bear in mind, I might not cover every single thing that happened this year, but I have focused on the main things that have happened on the internet, in the media, and the important things that everyone's gonna know about. And what better way to start off this year by talking about this.
Imagine if Ninja got a low table fade. Imagine if Ninja got a low table fade.
Why Ninja though? Like of all the people, he just picked Ninja randomly. So this meme came from a live stream by a guy called Eric Doa, where he's freestyling lyrics and singing. And just before he says the low taper fade line, he is thinking about his grandfather and he's talking about how he passed away because of COVID and how he bought him his first guitar. He then realizes that he's on the verge of tears and then hits his infamous line to stop him crying. I've heard of comfort streamers. Comfort haircuts? Comfort streamers with haircuts? Sure, it's a new one, but each to their own. However, the aftermath from this clip stretched a bit further than expected, as the clip eventually caught Ninja's attention and eventually took hold of him.
Low taper fade. But imagine if I got a low taper fade.
Begun with this event, the after hours. We gotta film that.
Hold on one second.
On the 25th of March, Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, had his Los Angeles and Miami homes raided by Homeland Security in connection to sex trafficking crimes. And what authorities found was enough baby oil to rival that of Saudi Arabia. I can't believe I'm talking about this. It's reported that guns, ammunition, drugs, and large amounts of baby oil and other lubricants were found in relation to sex events dubbed freak-offs. Now, later on in the year, Diddy was arrested and he got charged. I won't be talking about the specifics of what he was charged for, obviously, because they are very serious crimes and very serious allegations. But what I will be talking about is how the internet took the piss out of him. Because as you can imagine, the internet took great pleasure in stirring the pot, as the phrase "ain't no party like a Diddy party" very quickly rose to fame, and rebranded into many different forms of media, including Nacho Libre, Night Glider, Game of Combs, The Lubricator, and of course, Diddy Did It. Crazy. TikTok has always had the trend of getting random people famous by street interviews. And in June of this year, one person caught the media's attention.
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing, you get me?
Now this made the internet implode. It was everywhere. Everyone and their mother was talking about this meme. But it very quickly led to unexpected fame for the creator of this meme, Hayley Welch. This girl got on talk shows, on radio interviews, and eventually created her own podcast titled Talk to It. Now, I am making a joke out of this, but it is a smart tactic. Use the fame on something that realistically shouldn't have become so famous to create something bigger. But I don't think a lot of people knew what was coming after it, as that something bigger turned out to be cryptocurrency. That failed drastically. Who would have thought that the meme coin Hawk would have failed? The 2024 US presidential campaign was one of the biggest talking points of the year, as Vice President Kamala Harris went up against Donald Trump. And unfortunately for all of us, Donald Trump won, somehow. I don't understand how he's been let in office. Was the first 4 years not enough? Like, in all honesty. Now, I'm not a political person by any means, and especially when it comes to other countries, so it can't be that bad, right?
Wrong.
Aside from all the results from the elections, what stood out a lot for people this year and could have easily changed the course of American history was the assassination attempt on Trump in July. During a rally in Pennsylvania, Trump was shot and wounded in his upper right ear by Thomas Matthew Crooks, who fired 8 rounds from an AR-15 style rifle from the roof of a nearby building. Trump clearly wasn't worried though. He was giving a large to the crowd while being escorted away. Twat. Now, if you thought Trump versus Harris was the biggest rivalry of the year, you could not be more wrong, as the biggest feud of the year goes to Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. Two of the biggest rappers in the world went to all-out war with diss tracks flowing left, right and center. But it wasn't actually this year that it all started. In 2023, Drake dropped For All the Dogs, including a song featuring J. Cole titled First Person Shooter, where J. Cole basically expressed that himself, Drake and Kendrick were the big three of rap. Kendrick later responded to this on the song Like That with Metro Boomin and Future, on Metro's album We Don't Trust You, to which Kendrick said, "There is no big three, it's just Big Me." After this, Drake released Push Ups. Now, the track was essentially just calling Kendrick short and basically saying that all of his success was because of Drake. But it also contained the lyrics, "Metro, shut your hoe ass up and make some drums," which prompted Metro Boomin to make one of the best tracks of the year, BBL Drizzy, which was so unnecessary but so needed. But this then prompted Kendrick to release his first of his diss tracks, Euphoria, and this track was essentially saying, Drake, I don't like you. But as you can imagine, it was much more aggressive than that. Then came the second diss track from Kendrick, 616 in LA, with the bottom line being that Drake has snakes in his team and even got people working for Kendrick behind his back. Then came the first of the big ones as Drake dropped Family Matters. Now this is where feelings start to get hurt. Now what Drake talked about in this diss track was Kendrick's infidelity, domestic abuse, and claims Kendrick was using ghostwriters. And it was just multiple shots from every angle imaginable. And it was a lot to take in, and many people thought Drake would have won with this. But within the same hour Family Matters was released, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grahams. And it was nothing short of absolute murder. Addressing your son, addressing your mother, addressing your father, addressing a secret 11-year-old child before addressing you. Oh my God, I'm even getting flashbacks to hearing this for the first time. Not only that, but it goes over so many allegations. Drugs, gambling, drinking. He compares him to Harvey Weinstein. He claims they're sex offenders on OVO Sounds, and then hints at weird shit happening behind the scenes of the music industry, and that a certain embassy was gonna get raided. This man knew too much. And to top all of this off, we got Not Like Us, which claims Drake was a PDF file, a snitch, and doubles down on previous allegations of sexual deviancy. And just to rub salt in the wound, the song debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, has nearly 1 billion streams, 200 million views on the music video, spent 21 weeks at #1 on the charts, and received 5 Grammy nominations. I think we know who won. In August, Cristiano Ronaldo joined YouTube as he made his new channel titled You Are Cristiano, where he hit 1 million subscribers in the first 90 minutes of the channel going live, and 55 million subscribers in a week. He's currently sat on over 72 million subscribers, with his most recent collab being Mr. Beast, which somehow doesn't shock me. They did a video where Mr. Beast and his friends stood in goal while Ronaldo took penalties to see how many of them could stop him, and in the shock turn of events, they couldn't. One of the internet's most famous food creators, Nikocado Avocado, pulled off one of the greatest social experiments in YouTube history. Known recently for his strange antics online while consuming large amounts of food, Nikocado had gained a tremendous amount of weight while constantly filming these extreme mukbangs, gaining millions of views, but also getting on a lot of people's minds concerning fans about his physical and mental well-being, which is very understandable based on how he acted throughout his videos, but we were all wrong. When it was revealed in his video 2 Steps Ahead that he had pre-recorded this videos at this weight while secretly losing 250 pounds. Absolutely insane. But then after this whole prank was revealed, he just went straight back to his regular content and absolutely devoured a large plate of noodles. I'm not even putting the actual part of him eating the noodles because it's actually just gross. LeBron James finally had the chance to play with his son Bronny, as the two became the first father-son duo to play for the same team in NBA history in October. Now, I don't know everything about basketball because I don't watch it that much, but I do know it's a big deal when a young player makes such a big debut. But I do hear the transfer process wasn't as smooth as imaginable, as there are rumours floating around that one of Bronny's teammates is sleeping with his mom. Now moving on to more sports news, Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Now we all know Mike Tyson, right? One of the most feared boxers of his day, one of the best fighters of all time, and an absolutely elite athlete in his prime. However, the problem that Mike faced is that he's 58 and hasn't fought professionally since 2005. Jake Paul, however, is not even half his age. But it's fine, you know, the fight would have been an exhibition fight, would have been for charity, for a good cause. Nope, it was a professional sanctioned fight which went on both of their records. So yes, Mike Tyson came out of retirement to fight Jake Paul. It just felt wrong though. Like, he's double his age. He's over double his age. And Jake is literally in his prime youth years. He's fought recently, he's an active fighter. And Mike Tyson's an old man. Like, he can't fight at 58. And people can say like, oh, he's really fit for his age, he's in very good shape. 58 years old is still 58 years old. Now, in fairness, he went the full 8 rounds, so Tyson did hold on for the entirety of the fight. But in the end, Jake Paul won by unanimous decision. Imagine my shock. Now, to discuss very quickly the things that I've missed that weren't massive talking points of the year. A portal was opened in Dublin and New York to allow people from each side of the world to visually communicate with each other. But this quickly got shut down because, as you can imagine, some people couldn't keep to themselves. The Xbox 360 servers shut down. A guy stayed in the heart of Hurricane Milton at the top of his apartment building and refused to leave, and documented the whole thing. A breakdancer by the name of Ray Gunn retired from competing after getting hate from the Olympics. KSI released Thick of It, but somehow wasn't the worst song to be released this year. Timothée Chalamet crashed his own lookalike contest. Capri Suns went from pouches to bottles. The Minecraft movie trailer was released. Dave Blunt became an online hero for not putting down his cup. And of course, the chill guy meme. And that brings the end to 2024. Now, obviously, I know I haven't covered everything that happened this year. But once again, I think it's the main things that everyone would have known, everyone would have seen online. And it is still mostly lighthearted stuff. Because there have been shitty times this year. There have been really depressing stories. And as always, the main media loves to center on those depressing stories. And while it's important not to overlook that and just ignore them entirely, it's important as well not to get completely consumed by it because, you know, people are always scrolling online. They just go down a deep rabbit hole. And people do have the habit of getting really, really invested into these depressing stories. But these videos aren't meant to be that. They're meant to be an escape from that. They're meant to poke fun at the silly stuff that happened over the year. And just kind of bring a bit more light into those who only focus on the bad stuff. So yeah, that's been what has happened in 2024. Hope you all enjoyed and hope you have a great 2025. And I guess all that's left to say is see you next year.